ahead, make yourself known.
The search for the man accused of killing 2 people in Washington ending along the Oregon coast, where authorities say police shot and killed the suspect after an hours-long manhunt. Thank you for joining us live at 6 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. We will get to your weather and traffic in just a few minutes, but first we want to get straight out to Corey Johnson, who is live in Seaside this morning. So Corey, walk us through what happened here.
Yeah, Matthew, China, what started as a homicide investigation in Washington ended right here in Seaside with a deadly police shooting in this residential neighborhood. Now, investigators say Pierce County deputies first responded to a home in Puyallup Wednesday morning where they found a 35-year-old man dead. They later identified 24-year-old Hayes McLeod as a person of interest. And about 30 minutes later, investigators say another man was found shot and killed in Tacoma. And authorities say McLeod was also connected to that homicide. Washington investigators believe McLeod was headed into Oregon and put out a statewide alert. Around 6:20 Wednesday evening, Seaside police found his SUV on Sunset Boulevard near Greenway Drive. Oregon State Police say as officers approached him, police say McLeod fired at officers, and officers from Seaside, Gearhart, and Cannon Beach then returned that gunfire. Investigators say McLeod then drove a short distance before he was later found dead inside the SUV. No officers or bystanders were hurt in that shooting. Back in Washington, people are trying to piece together what happened.
It's weird because I feel bad, but I'm not like a family member. I can only imagine what goes through their mind. I mean, it must be horrible. Like, this is like life-changing for them.
Now, the involved officers have been placed on administrative leave, which is standard protocol, while Oregon State Police leads that investigation with help from the Clatsop County Major Crimes Team. And Matthew, China, as we continue to learn more about this investigation, of course, we'll continue to keep you updated.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Corey, thank you very much.
All right, let's head over to Chris McGinnis for a look at your weather and traffic now.
Check out this behind me, guys. Yeah, this was all socked in with cloud cover yesterday morning. This is from our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood, but what a pretty sunrise there. The little bit of cloud cover giving us a beautiful glow there. Currently, we are mostly clear in Portland as well, and the beach is clear. So again, a sign that the morning marine cloud deck is virtually non-existent for a lot of us. Currently 49 degrees in Lincoln City. There's a pretty shot from the Wells Fargo sky camera this morning. 54 degrees last check at PDX. And the plan for today, again, minus the morning cloud cover, we should wind up being a few degrees warmer. The sun doesn't have to work to burn the clouds off, and so that energy can go into heating the air. So we should be a little warmer today. We were 80 yesterday. We'll shoot for about 83 this afternoon. All in all, a really good-looking Thursday forecast. Okay, let's get you out the door. We'll start off with one trouble spot on the southbound Market Bridge, the upper left-hand part of your screen. It looks like they've got the big tow truck out there to get that disabled semi out of the way. That poor driver's been stuck there for a few hours, but it looks like they're getting ready to get that clear, and that's good because if that was there too much longer, we'd probably have some issues with the commute. So far, the freeways are in good shape, but I do want to let you know about this. Northbound Abernathy Bridge, I-205, that'll be closed overnight tomorrow night for at least 12 hours here as ODOT does a concrete pour. It will not impact the southbound traffic, but northbound traffic obviously will have to divert either to I-5 or local traffic, of course, can use the Oregon City Westland Arch Bridge. Also this weekend, I-5 through the Rose Quarter will be completely shut down both directions. That closure is Saturday night for upwards of 14 hours so that ODOT can install a new sign bridge. So guys, the detour around this, southbound traffic will be diverted to the Fremont Bridge. Northbound traffic will head onto eastbound I-84. Back to you.
Chris, thank you. With the Portland man who set this massive fire at his apartment building and targeted his neighbors, prosecutors say, based on their race, will spend the next 20 years in prison. Sean Swartz was sentenced on 9 counts of arson, bias crimes, and assault after the fire last July. At least 2 people were hurt and several lost their homes. Investigators say Swartz yelled racial comments at his neighbors while setting the fire. Some of those neighbors spoke in court yesterday.
We'll sleep a lot easier knowing that he'll be behind bars and that the damage that has occurred to us is something that's gonna persist with us for the rest of our lives.
My 5-year-old still has nightmares because I had to wake him up first thing. I mean, luckily we were awake to get out of the fire and the danger. And Seconds, we had seconds to get out. Our living room was completely burned up.
Swartz didn't say anything in court. His attorneys said that Swartz was experiencing a mental health crisis at the time and does not remember what happened.
Firefighters in Tualatin tried to save a home in Beaverton after its second story caught fire. Crews say the home on Southwest 149th Avenue had flames and smoke visible through the second story window that went above the roof. Initial calls said people may be trapped inside, but luckily everyone made it out safely and no other homes were affected. The cause is under investigation. Portland City Council has voted unanimously to uphold the master plan to redevelop the Lloyd Center, denying appeals from those trying to stop the project. The mall will now be turned into mixed-use housing, along with 6 acres of parks, plazas, and public space. The planned closure for the mall is set for August 8th. One of Portland's oldest restaurants appears to have shut its doors. A sign on the Irish gastropub, the Leaky Roof, says, quote, "Until further notice, the Leaky Roof will no longer be open." In a message to KGW, the owner of the Goose Hollow restaurant blamed rising costs, a drop in foot traffic, and overregulation from the city. The Leaky Roof started as a food cart in the 1940s, then moved to its current location along Southwest Jefferson in 1947. The 2 local unions are now dropping their endorsements of Councilor Mitch Green over his opposition to major public projects they say would create hundreds of jobs. So Councilor Green says he supports union jobs, but is putting the city's long-term financial health first. This week, IBEW Local 48 and Iron Workers Local 29 cited Green's opposition to 2 large-scale projects here, the Bull Run Water Filtration Facility and the Moda Center renovation. Now, Councilor Green says raising money for the water facility would double people's water bills. And back in February, Councilor Green showed public support for renovating the Moda Center, saying that it would create good-paying jobs. But now he's rallied against using public dollars to fund the project.
I'm not opposed to a redevelopment of this project, but I am opposed to a blank check approach with little to no negotiation to, frankly, increase the value of a team for a billionaire at a time when Portlanders are dealing with an affordability crisis.
In a statement, one union rep wrote, quote, "It is disheartening to see someone who talks about care and understanding for working people decide to use their power and public trust to actively undermine union members' livelihoods." Well, the new superintendent of Beaverton Schools is only a week into the job, but he's already warning families about a harsh reality. Along with closing McKay Elementary, Tony Smith confirmed the district needs to cut 159 full-time jobs. Smith says that he was drawn to Beaverton from Denver after seeing how supportive local families are, especially after McKay Elementary closed in June because of declining enrollment.
I think it's really important to look at what our kids need and build a budget in a school district that addresses their needs first. And so whatever that ratio will be, it will put students at the center.
Smith says he's taking 100 days to get to know people and listen to their concerns. Primetime Emmy nominations are out, and a Portlander is on that list. We're talking about stand-up comedian and writer Ian Carmel, who was nominated for his work as a writer for the Oscars. He's nominated for Outstanding Writing for a Variety Special. Carmel is a massive fan of the Trailblazers and even helped introduce the latest mascot, Doug Fur, in 2023. This is his 5th nomination for the Emmys, and the Emmys will air on September 14th right here on KGW. The city Battleground is offering grants to fund programs that attract tourists. The funding can be used for marketing, special events, and activities meant to bring visitors to the city. Who gets the grants will be finalized in December. To apply, you can head to the City of Battleground's website. If you're into classic rock, you'll want to head to Canby next week for the return of Hair Fest. The festival is happening at the Clackamas County Fairgrounds and Event Center from July 16th to the 18th. It'll feature tributes to some of rock and roll's greatest artists like Queen, Led Zeppelin, and AC/DC. The event is 21 plus, and tickets, you can get tickets and more information at hairfest.com. Heck yeah.
I believe producer Eileen calls this dad rock.
Dad rock.
Listen, yeah, I mean, I grew up, my dad was a huge classic rock guy, so I mean, that's like what I grew up listening to. So it's what I know probably more than any other type of music.
Listen to that all, yeah. China's like, what?
It was Waylon Jennings in my household.
Let's be honest.
A A good second choice, yeah, all right.
The best era of music, all right?
All right, let's get you out the door. We'll start off with the Springs at the waterfront here in Vancouver. So the difference is remarkable from yesterday. Yesterday we were completely clouded over. Today, full sunshine to start the day. And it's really, really nice outside. Not much of a breeze. 54 degrees last check at Pearson Airfield in Vancouver. Salem showing again a clear sky, 52 for you folks. And even along the North Oregon coast, this camera in Astoria, I mean, yesterday we had drizzle on the camera. We had lots of clouds, some drizzle. Today, already significant breaks along the North Coast, a sign of what should be a good-looking weather day ahead. Chilly right now in Astoria at 43. Right now we're 48 in Hillsboro. Wilsonville checking in with 50. And as we hop over the Cascades Bend, one of the warmer spots in Central Oregon at 57. Baker City right now at 46 degrees. The plan for today in Portland, a little bit of a cooler start because we're clear to start the day, but we should ultimately finish the day warmer. That's because the sun doesn't have to go to burn off the clouds before actually warming the air, right? So Futurecast shows a mostly clear sky here up and down the I-5 corridor and out through the Columbia River Gorge. Basically statewide, we're enjoying sunny to mostly sunny conditions. And you will notice that northwest breeze picking up again today, especially prevalent though through the East Gorge. You're used to it, but getting out towards the Dalles and the Arlington area, that west wind will be whipping again on the order of 25 to 30 throughout the day. The Dalles gets up to about 87, Baker City 86, Burns 89. And again, in the Willamette Valley, I think here in Portland, because we don't have the clouds to burn off today, we should be a couple of degrees warmer. We hit 80 yesterday. I've got us at 83 today. Brief morning clouds tomorrow. Saturday is going to be a day where we may very well wake up to a solid cloud deck for the first half of the day, maybe even into the afternoon. So I've got us a little cooler, but we should eventually see clearing and no rain in sight. Not that that's all that unusual, but there's no rain in sight over the next 7 days, and the models go out 16 days. No rain on those models either. Guys, back to you.